What is up, guys? How are you all going? How's your week been? What have you been up to? Today we're going to be going over phrasal verbs that go with on to, and upon. I've got a massive list of these ones. On is one of those particles that ends up going with a lot of different verbs. But before we get into that, just remember, guys, if you want to sign up for this course, the Effortless Phrasal Verb course, you can do so now. The link is in the description. It's only $97. It's going to be bumped up to $110 once it's complete and everything is packaged together. But remember, the content that you're going to get is going to be this video, but with a slideshow so that you can see the example sentences, see everything written down. You'll have a PDF. You'll have that slideshow with audio, with me talking, doing my thing. You'll also get the MP3s if you want to listen to this out and about without all of this before and after spiel on the MP3s. And you'll also get a Word document that you can type on and play with. So it comes with exercises, and I also define all of the phrasal verbs I use whilst I am talking. But before we get started, guys, give me a love heart or a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Just let me know that the audio is working okay. Sometimes it plays up. How are you going, Reno? How are you going, Hashim? I hope you guys are having an amazing day. And whereabouts are you all watching from? Are you from different parts of the world? Are you guys all in Australia? I always love to hear which parts of planet Earth you guys are located on, and from where you're watching. So while I give this a quick share, let me know where you're from. How are you going, Roberta? Thanks for showing up today. I appreciate it, guys. I'm glad that I can be of service and that I can help you guys learn phrasal verbs. Have you been enjoying these videos? Have you been watching them on YouTube or Facebook, listening on the podcast? Whereabouts have you guys been consuming this stuff? Wow, so Hashim's from Sudan originally, but now living in Egypt. Salam alaikum. I hope you're well, mate. And Adriana. So Adriana's from Adelaide. That's awesome. Adriana, are you Brazilian by any chance? Or are you South American but a Spanish speaker, not a Brazilian? I've got to give this a share and stop talking. What, 14 people? It's good to see you guys all here. Brazilian as well. Roberta's here, but living in Melbourne. That's awesome. That's awesome. Melbourne is the best. I love Melbourne. Gotta love Melbourne. Lala's here. How are you going, Lala? All right, stop talking and give this a quick share, and then we can get into the content. So you guys finding phrasal verbs useful to learn? Are these videos helping you guys? You know, I'm always looking for feedback. So if you have time, always feel free to comment below and let me know what you think of these videos. If you have any suggestions for how I could improve them, I'm always all ears and eyes if I'm reading. I'm open to any suggestions, but yeah, the basic concept here is to try and help you guys learn to use phrasal verbs effortlessly so that you don't have to think when you speak. They just come out spontaneously off the top of your head. You don't have to sit there and be all pensive and panic about which phrasal verbs to use. Anyway, I've probably talked enough. How are you going, Ruchi and Natalie? Welcome as well. Probably talked enough, guys. It's getting pretty hot here, by the way. Today and the last 3 days has been about 30 degrees. Hence the t-shirt. But without any further ado, as usual, guys, let's just dive in. So welcome to component 8 of the Effortless Phrasal Verb course, guys. Thanks for sticking with it. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. Today we're going to be talking about phrasal verbs with the particle on, onto, or upon. Okay, these are all sort of interrelated to one another, but we'll go through it and we'll define the different uses of these particles. So I guess first and foremost, as always, it's used with position and movement. We can use all of these with different positions, different movement, but the basic idea would be you're on something, or that you're going on to something, or upon something, okay? So it's you're on top of, resting on something else. That's number one. Number two is to continue doing something. You'll hear this quite often with people rabbiting on or talking on. It means they're doing it on and on and on and on. So that's continuing. That action is continuing. That's number two. Number three is dependence. So like to rely on someone. We'll get to them. That's number three, dependence, rely on someone. And then number four, miscellaneous ones. There's always a whole bunch of miscellaneous verbs to go through, guys, that I guess I find hard to define and put into these categories. And then after that, we'll have a few expressions and then we'll finish up for the day. So let's get into it. Okay, first one, position and movement. So on top of, above something but touching it. So resting on the thing. And it's one of those weird ones where I kind of have to use on to describe what on means. So I'm sitting on a chair. I'm currently sitting in a chair. I'm sitting on the chair. I could stand on the chair. I could stand on a balcony at my house. Maybe I'm drinking a beer. I'm standing on the balcony. I could lean on the railing on the balcony. So I'm putting my weight on the railing on my balcony. I'm leaning on it. I could lie on the lawn. So if I go down off the balcony onto the lawn, the grass, and I lie down, I'm lying on the lawn. Pretty self-explanatory. I could also knock on a door. So he knocked on the door. I could spit. Toof, toof. I could spit on the pavement. So again, I'm walking along and I decide to spit, and the spit goes down on the pavement. The second one here for position and movement is connection or giving power to something. Okay, so before I started this lesson, I had to turn on my phone. I had to turn on my computer. I turn on the TV. So I'm turning the button like this, turn on as opposed to turn off. I might switch on the telly or the TV, switch it on, or I could switch it off. I could also flip it on if it's a flipping switch that goes up and down as opposed to turning. I could flip it on or I could flip it off. And I could also flick the button, flick it on, flick it off, okay? It can also be the opposite of off, so on and off, when we're talking about access to something. So before starting this, I streamed it live on Facebook, but I had to log on Facebook. I had to log on to Facebook. So I had to get on the internet. I had to sign on the internet. I had to sign on to the internet to be able to do this today. So he logs onto Facebook, and maybe he also signs onto YouTube. So to get access to something online. We could also, get on the computer. We can get onto the computer. We could jump on the internet. We can jump onto the internet. We could hop on a server. We could hop onto a server. So hop is the idea of pulling up one leg and bouncing, and we kind of use this colloquially, kind of like slang, to talk about getting on something. So you'll see this quite a bit in English. I'm going to jump on the internet. I might hop on Facebook for a little bit. I might get on YouTube and have a bit of a browse. We can talk about wearing clothing and often use the particle on with verbs. So before I bought this t-shirt, before I walked out of the shop with the t-shirt, I had put it on. I had tried it on. So I tried it on. I'd put the thing literally on me in order to try it out to see if it was good. So I try on the t-shirt. Put on the t-shirt. I could also put on a hat. So what have I got here? I put on the hat. It goes on my head. Okay? And I can put it onto my head as well. And then it comes off my head. All right. We can also start getting a little bit more slangy. Using a bit more slang, we can use verbs like whip. So whip would be to have like a long piece of, I guess it's leather. It's weaved together and you can whip it like this. That's a whip, but we can whip the whip by doing that movement, okay? We can use this to be a slang term for put on quickly though. So to whip something on is to really put it on quickly. So we whipped on our bathers and went down to the beach. We whipped them on. We put them on incredibly quickly. We could chuck them on. Again, to chuck this time though means to throw something like this, chuck it. It's another slang term for put on. So maybe they chucked on their costumes. So they put them on, but really sort of quickly, they chucked them on really quickly. But they could chuck their costumes on something. So this is where we can switch in on to. So if I had my costume on and then I took it off, I might throw it on or I might chuck it on my bed. So they chucked their costumes onto their bed, they chucked their costumes on their bed. And we can use throw. So you might tell someone to throw on that new dress or throw on that outfit. So you throw the outfit on and then you take it off, you pull it off, you rip it off, and you might throw it on the floor. So you threw the outfit on the floor, you threw it onto the floor. This time, I think we're using onto something when it is going to a certain position, right? So you go to that position, so you put on something, you take it off, but then if I throw it onto something, it's not only going on the thing, but it's also going to the thing, okay? So I throw it onto the floor, it's going on the floor, but it's also going to the floor, so I say on to. You'll see this pop up quite a bit with these phrasal verbs, and here are some more examples. So we can talk about public transport, and I know this is one you guys absolutely love/hate, okay? I know you dislike this, but okay, so you jump on the train. Jump on the train, we can jump onto the train. And the opposite of these two is off and off of, okay? So I jump on the train, I jump off the train. I jump on to the train, I jump off of the train. Any of these are acceptable, they're just different ways of sort of expressing that idea. On and off, onto, off of. You could walk on the platform, or you could walk onto the platform. You can walk off the platform, you can walk off of the platform. Up to you which you use. You could step on the bus, you could step off the bus, you can step onto the bus, you can step off of the bus, I'm just making sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. You could get onto a plane, and you could get on a plane, you can get off of a plane, and you can get off a plane. The one that you need to remember is a car. You get in a car. So imagine you can't stand up. You can't literally be on, I guess, the platform or the bottom of the car. You can't really be on it. You have to be sitting in it. So that's why we get in a car or in a taxi or in an Uber. And we get into a car and then out of a car. We get in the car, we get out, or you have to say out of in that case. We get out of the car, okay? Because it's like a box. So you have to enter it. You have to get in, you don't get on. If you said I'm on the car, it would be the idea of you're on the roof, okay? So the second one, we just went over position and movement. The second one is to continue to do something. So you're doing something on and on and on. And you'll hear native speakers say on and on and on and on and on when they've already mentioned a verb, any verb, and they're talking about it continuing, okay? So they'll say on and on and on. So you might tell someone to keep on practicing phrasal verbs. Keep on learning, meaning continue to learn. Keep on learning. You might tell them to carry on working. So she carries on working. She's working and we want her to carry on doing that thing. We want her to continue. Keep on working, carry on working. We can also use come on, and we can kind of use this in a positive and a negative way. And this is said when encouraging someone to do something, positive way, or telling them to kind of hurry up when I guess it feels like they're doing something wrong or foolish. So you'll often hear this when someone's barracking for a team. So they're barracking for, say, Essendon, a footy team here, and they'll be like, come on, Essendon, come on, come on. It's like, continue doing well, continue doing well. But they might say come on as well if, say, someone in the team of Essendon had a beautiful kick to score a goal and he totally missed. So the ball went out of bounds on the full. The guy made a fool of himself. Someone who barracks for that team might say, come on, man, what did you do? Come on. As in, you did something wrong or foolish. That is a common one you're going to hear all the time, come on. And it can be positive or negative. You might tell someone to go on. So again, go on can have a lot of different meanings, but in this case, we're talking about continuing, and it's sort of an encouragement to continue an action, to continue doing something. So maybe you've got a baby, and not a newborn, maybe the baby's about a year old, and you want it to walk, and it's holding onto something, it's almost ready to walk. You might try and encourage it by saying, go on, mate, go on, go on. It's like, continue doing what you're doing. Go on. So go on. You can do it. Keep at it, guys. Go on. You can learn phrasal verbs. Go on. You can move on. That's like to continue moving. So, for instance, the Aborigines in Australia may have lived in a specific location, and if they use up, if they consume all of the resources, so there's no more kangaroos, there's no more plants for them to eat, if they use up everything there, they might have to move on. So they have to go to a different location. They have to keep moving. They have to move on. And you also might hear people say play on, continue playing, play on. But you'll hear this in sports teams. The referee will yell this out. So for instance, you'll always hear this on the TV watching footy when it looks like someone's fouled someone else, but they haven't. The referee's decided they haven't fouled them. They'll say, play on, keep playing. So the referee told the footy teams to play on, continue playing. Something can drag on, to drag on. And this is sort of negative, and it means like it lasts a long time. So the meeting drags on. Or maybe I'm watching a movie that's really boring. It's not getting to the point. It's taking a long time to sort of finish. It's dragging on. So it's the idea that it's boring, it's not interesting, it's not fun. So that's the negative side of to drag on. You can add something on. So you can add it on, or you can add it on to something else. So this is to incorporate in addition with something else. So we might add on some extra shopping items to the list. So we want a few extra things, we're going to add them on the list. We've got 5 things on the list, we've got another 2 to add on the list, so now it's 7 things. You can dwell on something, you can linger on something, and this is where we're going to start seeing dwell upon. We're going to start seeing the use of upon, so to dwell upon, to linger upon something. So that's to continue to think about this thing, it's to continue to talk about it. It's just that it's occupying your mind or what you're talking about. So he's dwelling on the issue. He keeps talking about it. He's dwelling on it. He's lingering on the issue. So we're talking about it. Linger is to kind of hang around in a certain place, whether it's figurative or literal. We're lingering on this issue, meaning that it's going on. It's continuing to be used. So to dwell upon, to dwell on, to linger upon an issue. You can press on or push on, and this is similar to move on. It means to keep going. So to keep going in a direction, or to, you might use this when walking. So if you're bushwalking out in the bush, you're out in the sticks, and you need to walk 10 kilometers that day, you've walked 8 of them, the sun's going down, and the leader of the bushwalk says, we have to press on, we have to push on, we have to move on, we have to get to the end, we have to continue going, we're almost done, but we need to press on, we need to push on, we need to keep going. And the last one here is to talk about something on and on and on and on. There's multiple different ways of saying this in English. We can say, obviously, to talk on about something, We can rabbit on about something. To rabbit is to talk a lot. We can go on about it. Oh, she's going on and on and on about this thing. We could bang on about something. Bang is to like hit something, to bang about it. I don't know why we use that. And harp on about something. All of these are different ways of saying to continually talk. So she rabbits on about her day, she goes on about her day, she bangs on about her day, she harps on about her day, she talks on about her day. I'm just going to have a quick drink. Talking. So I'm talking on and on and on and on. So number 3 now, we're going to be talking about dependence. And this is where you'll probably hear upon used the most, okay? I guess in this slideshow. So you can count on someone or you can count upon someone. This is to depend on someone, to rely on someone. These are all synonyms. So we count on you to help us. You can depend on someone, you can depend upon someone. They depend on us for help. They depend upon us for help. They rely on us for help. They rely upon us for help. Something can hinge upon something else, and this is again sort of like depend upon, rely upon, or count upon something, but it's usually an argument or a fact or some kind of piece of information. So your plan hinges upon one thing. Maybe it's having enough money to carry it out, so to complete the plan. It hinges upon having enough money to do it. You can bet on something. You can bet upon something. So to bet is to pay money, put money down on, say, a team or a horse. So I bet $50 on my favorite footy team to win the game. Or you might hear less commonly, I bet $50 upon my team, but you'll most often hear on, okay? You can bank on something or bank upon something. And this means to be sure of something, to count on it, to depend on it. But the example I have here is I'm banking on my employees showing up to work today. So it's something that I'm sure of. I know they will do it, or that I hope they do because I rely on them. So I'm banking on them showing up to work. Now let's get into the miscellaneous ones, guys. So there's a lot of these that I was sort of unsure about where to put, but I wanted to cover, I wanted to go over nonetheless. So you can egg someone on, or you can urge someone on, and this is to talk someone into doing something, or to sort of push them to do something. So he eggs on his mates. That would be like he's getting them to keep doing whatever it is he wants them to do. So if they were teasing someone, he was egging them on. It's like he's saying things like, go on, come on, do more of it, do more of it. So to egg someone on or to urge someone on. She urges us on. That would be also to urge could be also keep doing it. So to keep giving someone support. She urges us to keep going on, to continue. You can hang on, you can hold on. So to hang literally would be like to put your hands over a bar and hang from it. I'm hanging on to the bar, or I'm holding with my hands onto the bar. But we can use this figuratively to mean wait. Can you just hang on a sec? Hang on. Can you hold on? Just hold on 1 sec. So we hang on while he makes a phone call. Or can you hold on just a moment? Hold on a sec. You can tell on someone, you can rat on someone, you can dob on someone, and you can inform on someone. These are all pretty much the same way of saying to report something or someone to an authority. So you might tell on someone or rat on someone if they've done something wrong in the classroom. So I told on my mates for setting a fire in the classroom. A prisoner might rat on some other prisoners who are dealing drugs in the prison. He might dob on them. Dob, though, would be more like kids doing it. So he's dobbing on his mates. And informing on would be the idea of you've got an informant, someone who's informing, I guess, to the police, and they're telling all of this information about, say, the mafia. So this guy is a rat. He's someone who rats on other people. He's a rat, and he's informing on a group of criminals. Some more miscellaneous ones. You can act on something. That is like acting on information or intelligence. And the slang terms for these will be info, information, intel, intelligence. You'll often hear intel when it is soldiers or, people in the army or the military talking about information. They'll say intel, intelligence. So it's to do something decisively because of intel or info. That's to act on something. So the general acted on the latest intel he'd received. You can let on, and to let on is to reveal, to disclose, or to divulge something. So to make it known. And this we'll usually use with information or a secret. So if I found out about a surprise birthday party for me, I might not let on that I know. So I'm not going to let all the others know that I know about the secret. I'm not going to let on. I didn't want to let on that I already knew. Okay? You can come on to someone, or you can hit on someone. To come on to someone or to hit on someone is to show sexual, relational interest in that person. So imagine I've gone to a pub, somewhere that you can buy beer and get food usually in Australia. I've gone to a pub and some girls come up to me and she has started to come on to me or hit on me. It would be like she's saying, "You've got a really nice beard. I love your beard. What's your name? Oh, your eyes are so beautiful." Doing that kind of thing where it's pretty obvious she's romantically interested in me. For better or worse, right? So that is to come on to someone or to hit on someone. You could pick up on something. So if you pick up on a thing, it's to notice that thing. It's to realize that it's occurring or that what it is. It's to be aware of that thing. So if I was really oblivious, I didn't know what was going on when this girl was hitting on me, she was coming on to me, I was just like, oh, this chick seems really nice. Don't know what she wants. That would be me not picking up on the signals she's giving me. Okay? It's me that not picking up on the fact that she's coming on to me or hitting onto me. So he didn't pick up on the signals she was giving him when she was coming on to him. You can get on with someone, you can get along with someone. This is to just, I guess, have a really good time with this person, so to be really good friends. So they got on really well, or they get along really well with each other. You can get on with something, and that's the idea of stop procrastinating. Just get on with it. Just do it. Just do it. Stop procrastinating. So stop rabbiting on and get on with it. Do the thing that you're meant to be doing. Get on with it. Okay? You can move on with something, move along with something. That's kind of like to keep going. I guess that's tied in with the continuing thing. But the policeman might ask people standing around a crime scene to move on. He might ask them to move along. Okay? Walk in on. So now we're going to get into the more complex ones, guys. These are the interesting ones with multiple particles after the verb. So walk in on someone or something. This is to enter a place and interrupt something that's happening. So I walked in on my boss having a meeting with some clients. I walked in on the people in the room. Okay? I walked in on my boss. I walked off on someone. So to walk off, and then I guess using on here is attributing that I've done it to someone. So I've walked off on this person. So imagine that we went out to the park, me and a girl, me and a friend, whoever. We went out to the park across the road, and then I just walked off on them. That would be me walking away, and on is that I've done it to them. I walked off on these people. I could walk out on someone. If I walk out on someone, similar to walk off on, it's imagine you're in a house though this time. So you're in the house and you're walking out of the house. If you walk out on someone in the house, it would be someone like your wife or your husband, and you're leaving them permanently. So it's to abandon or desert someone, and it's especially used for partners, for spouses, for husbands and for wives. So my husband walked out on me and the kids. He cheated on me with some other lady and walked out on me. So he's left. He's gone. He's left us. That leads us to cheat on someone. So this is to not be sexually faithful to your partner, to not be monogamous. So you've got a wife or a husband, and then you start having sexual relationships with someone else. That is to cheat on the person. So to cheat is to do something, to trick, to kind of try and win, and you're cheating with this person on another person. So we're using on this time here to attribute the person on whom or to whom that thing is happening. So he walked out on her when he found out she'd cheated on him. There's a few phrasal verbs in there. He walked out on her when he found out she had cheated on him. You can take something out on someone. To take something out on someone, often used as to take it out on someone or something, is to unleash your anger. So to release or unleash your anger on a thing. So imagine that a teacher's husband walked out on her. She got incredibly angry about it, went to school, and as a result of her anger, as a result of it, she took it out on the students. So she took out her anger on the students. She took it out on the students. She was nasty to the students, on them, because of what happened somewhere else. So she took out her anger on the students. You can get off on something. So to get off is to, be sexually excited or aroused, but it doesn't have to always be a sexual thing. It can be just something you really like. And so if you're getting off on a thing, it's that you're getting off because of this thing. Again, attributing cause to this thing, okay? So it could be sexual. You could say, she gets off on guys with big muscles, meaning that she really likes guys who have big muscles. That's what gets her off. That's what floats her boat. That's what she likes. She gets off on guys with big muscles. But then we can use it in a non-sexual way. For example here, I don't really get off on cars. That's me sort of using colloquial slang to get off on, but not in a literal sense of sexual. It's me saying I don't really like that thing. I don't really get off on cars. Don't really like them. Doesn't get me off. Nah, don't enjoy it. So to get off on something is to be excited or aroused by it, or to derive pleasure from that thing. You could zero in on something. So to zero in and then on another thing, that would be to adjust one's aim. So imagine that you are, in the army using artillery. So you've got a cannon like this and you're aiming it at something and you have to work out the target. You got to zero in on the target. So it's to adjust one's aim to be pointing at the target, or to better focus on a thing, to zero in on that thing. So the police are zeroing in on the hacker's whereabouts. So there's a hacker on a computer somewhere doing something illegally. The police know what he's doing. They're trying to track him down. They're trying to adjust, their aim to try and find him. So they're trying to zero in on his location, on his whereabouts. You could move in on something. So to move in on something, again, move in. That would be like you're surrounding something and you're going to move inwards. You're moving in and there's something in there on which you're moving in. Okay? That's probably a little bit complicated, but it's to come closer to something or to hunt or catch something. So the example I have here is the pride of lions. So there's multiple lions. They're all hunting something. The pride of lions moved in on their unsuspecting prey. So their prey was sitting somewhere, eating in the grass. They were unsuspecting, as in they didn't suspect anything was going to happen. They were just nonchalantly doing their thing, eating the grass, as the lions moved in on them. So they moved in on them. So they tried to hunt them down. Similar to move in on, you can muscle in on someone. So muscles, if you muscle in on someone, it's to kind of push them out of the way and take up the space that they were occupying. We can use this figuratively, we can use it literally. He's muscling in to try and move in on their position in line. Maybe they're waiting outside a bank or a restaurant and you muscle in. But figuratively, it's to interfere with someone or something, or to intrude with something or someone forcibly. So using your muscles. And the example sentence I have here is the mafia muscled in on the gang's turf. So turf is kind of slang for the area that they control, their turf, and the mafia have muscled in on their turf. They've taken it up and muscled in because they might have used guns, they might have literally used their muscles and beaten these people up and then taken up that space, taken up that turf. Let's move on to some of these expressions, guys, and then we'll finish up. So, for something to be on. We use this quite a bit. It's an expression that means for something to be going to take place, to happen. So is it going to be on? Yeah, it'll be on. This is like, imagine there's a party going to be on tonight. I just used it. There's a party that's happening tonight. Someone might say, is it still on? So maybe it's raining, it's bucketing down outside, it's pouring down outside, lots of rain coming down, and you're worried it's not going to be on, it's not going to be on, so you ring up and you say, is it still on? Is it still on? So we can be in on a secret. If you're in on a secret, this is to be aware of it. So imagine there's just a few of you and your friends who are in on. Imagine you've got a group where you're all talking. You're all in a group on a secret. So you're in on the secret. Don't worry, I'm in on the plans. I know what's going on. I'm in on that thing. To be on to someone or something is to be aware of that person or that thing, usually like plans, kind of like be in on. So, for instance, if I was in a lecture at university and I was cheating, so I was like looking around at other people's answers and then writing them down, I was cheating. If the lecturer saw me and knew exactly what I was doing, he is on to me. He's on to me. He can see it. He's on to me. But maybe he wouldn't let on that he knows. So when I see him, he's just pretending like he doesn't know what's going on. He's not letting on that he's on to me. You can be going on about something. So that is to be talking about that thing. What's he going on about? What's he rabbiting on about? What's he going on about? What's he talking about? Something can be going on like it can be happening. What's going on? You'll hear me say that all the time. What's going on, guys? How are you going? What's going on? What's happening? What's the news? You can be switched on. So to switch is to like flick a switch. If someone's switched on, it means they're really intelligent. He's really switched on. That guy knows what he's talking about. He's really switched on. You can be bang on or spot on. I guess that would be like spot on would be like you've got a spot, like a little area that's the correct answer to something. I'm making this up on the spot. But if you're spot on, you get something correct. You're absolutely correct. You're exact. You are spot on. Same with bang on, bang being smash, bang, making a lot of noise by hitting something. Bang on, to be bang on is to be correct, exact. You are bang on. The very last one that we have here, guys, is to shed light on something or to shed light upon something. So to shed light would be me doing this. I'm shedding light, shedding it on my face right now by turning that light around. Shed light on something, though, figuratively is used for illuminate, make clear, or clear something up. So to make it understood to a person, okay? So if you shed light on something, it means that you are telling them about the thing so that they know more about it. So someone might say to you, what was going on yesterday? What happened yesterday? I want to be in on what happened yesterday. So can you shed light on what happened yesterday? I don't know anything about it right now. I don't know what happened. I need you to shed light on the event. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Good job, guys. You stuck with it. You did well. That was about 40 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down below. I think I saw a few of you, like Sergio, asking questions whilst I was chatting. I'm sorry I don't answer them whilst I go. But you guys will remember that I am creating this course to sell, to be able to support myself so I can keep doing what I'm doing. Remember, you can sign up. It's in the link to this video, or it'll be below in the podcast. You can sign up now and save 12% when you sign up and enroll in this course. Remember, you'll get all the bonus content. You'll get the video that I've put up here. It'll be inset up in the corner like this in a slideshow that I'm looking at on the computer right now, going through all the examples. Everything's written out. You'll also get access to a word-for-word transcript of everything that I say. All of the phrasal verbs will be listed, not just the ones that are the topic of today's lesson, but every single phrasal verb I say. I actually go through the entire thing and highlight them all, define them all, and then give you an exercise. And you'll also have the MP3 and a Word document too. So it's designed to help you learn phrasal verbs effortlessly. I really suggest that if you want to learn to use them once and for all, go through this course, smash it out, work through it, and by the end of it, I'm hoping you'll never have to work on these phrasal verbs again the same way. That's the aim, for you to get to the other side and be like, done, and be able to use them effortlessly. Anyway, I'll stop rabbiting on. I'll stop going on and on and on and start answering some of your questions. Okay, so Carolina is saying she's got issues with phrasal verbs. When do we use on to? So Sergio was asking, when do we use on to? This one I haven't looked up specifically right now, but I get a sense of you're doing it when it's involving that action of going from one thing to another thing as well as on, right? So if you've got a platform over here and you're here and you walk up to the platform, so you walk up, but you walk up to this thing, you're joining it, going to the platform. If you want to then talk about the fact that you're going to the platform as well as on it, then you have to say on to. You don't have to. You can just say I'm going on the platform, but you'll often hear people say on to. It's weird because I guess you go to the platform first and then you get on it. But you're never going to hear people say, I went to on the platform. It's always, I went on to whatever the thing is. So that'll be most often used like that. I'm trying to think of some other examples off the top of my head with on to. So is he on to us? On to us. I think there's some that are just abstract, right? So if someone's on to you, it means they know what you're doing, for example. And I guess it would be the idea that they have, come to you and they're on you and they've figured out what you're doing. They're on to us. They're on to us. But yeah, I think for the regular ones that you won't have to just learn by heart, it'll be the idea of one thing going to another thing and then going on it. Okay, so getting onto something, walking onto something, running onto something. Whereas if I just said I was walking on the platform, that's the idea of the platform's here and I'm just walking and I'm on the platform whilst I'm walking. Whereas if I say I walk on to the platform, that's the idea of I wasn't on it to begin with and then I've walked to the platform and gone on to the top of it. Okay? So if I'm on the platform, I can just say, yeah, I'm on the platform now and I'm just walking on the platform if I was on the phone. Whereas if I was walking up to the platform and I was on the phone, I'd say, I'm just walking up to the platform now and I'm about to walk on to the platform. So I'm not on it at the moment, but I will be in a sec. I'm about to walk onto the platform. So I hope that makes sense, Sergio. This is one of those things where even I have to learn this stuff, guys. I can use this naturally, and this is kind of the curse of being a language teacher. A lot of the time, I know how to use it, but I don't know how to explain it. That's really annoying and frustrating, but it's good. I love these questions because it makes me think about it, and I have to better learn how to explain these things. All right, what else? Sergio asked another one. What did you stick on the wall? So I have a postcard up here. This one came from Juliana, who's from Brazil. This is a slang postcard. I'll pull it off the wall. I can always put it back on the wall. This is one with different slang terms, guys. So it's got a whole bunch of different slang terms. You can jump on YouTube, and I've actually broken down these different slang terms and talked about whether or not I use them. So I think do a search for 16 Australian expressions, do I use them, Aussie English, and you'll see the video where I go through this postcard. So there's quite a few on here that I do use, but there's also a few that I don't use. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on the wall, guys. On the wall. I was thinking though, recently, what would you guys say if I asked you to send me postcards from around the world and I can put them on the wall here? Because I was thinking that would be kind of cool. If you guys have questions, if you have topics, send me a postcard and I can then put it on the wall and hopefully address it in these episodes, because I want to decorate the wall. I don't just want it to be white. But let me know what you think, and if you like it, I will organize an address where you guys can send all of those postcards. But I would love to hear more from you one-on-one and have something to put on the wall here. It'd be great to completely fill this entire wall up. So let me know what you think in a comment below. Lale, okay. What does to get in on the act mean? That's a good expression with it, to get in on the act. So you're getting in as in you're becoming part of something, right? So imagine you've got a group of people standing around one another and you're outside the group. You want to be in the group, right? So you want to get in the group. And if they're going to do an act, whatever the act is, maybe they're going to set fire to a house, or maybe they're going to, I don't know, any act. But if you want to be a part of the group and the act they're doing, you'll get in on the act, okay? So get in is a phrasal verb there that means be a part of this group. And then the on bit we use in front of the act to attribute cause to the act. So I want to get in on the act. So I hope that makes sense. But it's to be a part of whatever this act would hypothetically be. So Ruchi's got one. Hey Ruchi, can you please explain the phrasal verb without purpose? Well, without purpose is to just have no purpose. So to have no reason to do something, to have no purpose. So without just means to lack that thing, not to have that thing. So if I didn't have a purpose, it would be like I didn't have a reason, and it would just depend what the context was. But maybe I'm living life currently without a purpose. That's like I'm living life, but I have no reason for why I exist, for why I'm living my life. There's no reason. So I'm living my life without purpose. Okay, there's no purpose. I think we got another one. Sergio wants to know my address. I will have to check. I think I will give you guys a PO box, so a post office box, but I don't currently have one, and I'd prefer not to be giving out my home address. So I might ask my folks, my parents, as they have a PO box. I will let you guys know. I'll probably send out a group email, so if you're on the email list, you will get my the address. I just have to ask them permission first, obviously. If not, I'll organize one locally, and then you guys can send me the postcards there. Okay, so if that's it, guys, if you have no other questions, we might finish up. But I hope you're enjoying this stuff. I've been trying to work on a few other things as well. Recently, I'm just getting a bit snowed under, getting a bit overwhelmed with work, which is a good thing, but there's some interviews coming soon. There's one with Adriana that'll hopefully come out this week. I've also done one with my mate Wildman, the Australian guy who loves crocodiles. I interviewed him a while ago. It's sitting here waiting to come up. And I've got a few more too that I want to release. But as always, guys, let me know what you guys think of the podcast. If you have any suggestions for how I can improve it, anything you want me to cover. Make sure you also get over to the Aussie English Virtual Classroom, the Facebook group. Just search Aussie English Facebook group, the Virtual Classroom, and suggest expressions for the podcast episodes, guys. I love when you are a part of it and suggest these expressions. Everyone then votes on them, and the one that gets to the top is the one that I will do the expression on. So we're doing that currently. Anyway, guys, that's enough for today. I think we've probably smashed out about 50 minutes. Thanks for joining me again, guys. Make sure you sign up to the course, and I will see you next time. See you guys.